Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show and here to talk about the Daytona 500 that concluded about an hour ago. Thankfully, there was no rain. It started to actually rain after the race, so thank God they actually moved the race up an hour. But yeah, Tyler Reddick wins the 500 after doing pretty much nothing all day and leads one lap. The entire field pretty much crashed in the last lap, entering turn 1 and off forward. It was a bigger crash than I thought in turn 1. I thought it was like 5 cars. Fox never showed a replay. Shocker. But there was a video. It's like 10 cars involved. I'm surprised NASCAR, they're normally trigger happy. I guess this year they're not, apparently. So at least they let them race back. And I didn't think I'd have my heart ripped from my chest away. Just did. With the finish. When will Chase win a crown jewel race? Always comes so close and never gets the luck that his teammates get. I couldn't have envisioned having 4 to go, though. Him restarting, what was it, 15th or 16th? And would have a shot to even win the 500. I'm glad he even had that opportunity. You can't defend a run like that without dumping yourself. Tyler Reddick had a huge run. The only hope Chase had was if 38 held the 45 back a little more. It is what it is. I mean, he restarted 15th or 16th. I didn't envision he would have a shot of, like, winning. Hell, even lead on the final lap. Zane probably pushed him, then backed off. I'd assume to get a run, but 23 of them cars were behind him. They weren't pushing him. I wish, it's just how many crown jewel heartbreaks, though, do we have to see, man, to finally see him win once. So heartbreaking, especially leading on the last lap. But at least NASCAR actually kept it green the whole week. For keeping it green, upholding the standard they've set all week. The consistency is what it's lacked. And they've kept it green all the way throughout these races, especially at the end. So, what I can say for certain is I won't ever be able to watch the finish of 500 and not feel my heart feel like die. And it's just not a great winner. Like, Reddick's fine. He's a cool dude. It's just, for me, not a great winner for Daytona. The only great winner for me is either my favorite driver or an underdog. And Reddick winning, it's whatever. But proud of the Chase 19. Like, really proud of the work they did all week. Brought Chase within half a lap of winning. The positives is okay, thankfully, because that was a hard hit. But he's 3rd in points, and he returns to Atlanta next week. I mean, he did everything he could. I mean, there's not really much else he could do. They raked in front, got a good push out of the lead. He was just sitting duck. I mean, it's tough. But as for the race itself, I actually thought it was a pretty good 500. Definitely probably the best 500 in a few years with this car. Like, it was like stage 3 at the start. It was getting kind of boring as fuck with the gridlocks shit. Like, they were 4 or 5 seconds off pace. That's where I draw the line. 4 or 5 seconds off pace, 3 wide gridlock. No. There were some bad blocks where Allgaier caused the big one, and Riley Herbst playing job security. Wrecks himself and pretty much everybody else coming to the line. But the fuel saving sucks. Do away with stage cautions and make a few tweaks to the car. We might have something in, because this is actually a pretty good race, I'll say. Probably this is the best 500, I think, in the next-gen era. In my opinion. But it's just the fuel saving, man. Oh, my God. I hate the gridlock. Like, I felt like we had a very good race. But the first part of the last stage really, really sucked and annoyed me. Like, I just hate that the pack is essentially lying. A single-file train beyond allowing for island hopping. At least it isn't to convince people it's energetic. And I think Zane Smith's team radio, I don't know whose voice it was, but said that boring as shit watching this 5 seconds off pace. And that's how I felt at the start of the stage. I really didn't feel that most of the race up until then, where boring as fuck. Because the strategy was interesting with the pit stops. But then the start of the stage 3 happens. They're like 4.5 seconds slower than the fastest laps of the day. Max say the Toyotas are at front, but everyone else is going along with it. They could get around or force them to go faster if they really wanted to. Like, they were all trying to save, not burn fuel, but to their credit, it took a lot longer into this race before I started getting annoyed. So, they didn't do that most. They were fuel saving, but it wasn't like 3x3 like that. But whatever rules package it is, I feel like they got it dialed in. The racing looked pretty good. They string out and come back together. Both lines are competitive. Whatever this is, maybe they could still make a few tweaks where the fuel saving, but the drivers don't have to do it. But can't say I would love the 2x2 stretch despite everyone not saving fuel at points, but hey, it wasn't going to be forever. But then we got the huge one. Racing really started getting good. There was, I think Allgaier squeezed Hamlin up in the wall. He kind of floated between lanes, and when Denny had a huge run, then he threw a block, and there was like 20 cars involved. It's a bad block right there. Not the worst. There was another bad block, which was Riley, of course. But yeah, he just drifted up with what appeared to be too late of a block. Denny was there, and then it was on. Took a ton of contenders out. And that's on Allgaier, just specifically while leading as well. Was good, but then there was another wreck. I think Zilch hit Allgaier, then he hit Chastain. Chastain hit Ware hit Gibbs and Briscoe, and then was on from there. I was pissed that Zilch spun, but I'm elated that the cars were like tough to drive at points. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed the 500 car, but there was a car spinning up to the pack, Zilch, and they stayed zoomed in on Austin Dillon. Because of course they do. And I was very happy that Fox actually utilized split-screen commercials during this race as well. No complaint from me there. And surprisingly enjoyable first stage even. Fuel saving was a lot more interesting with different strategies, and the cars felt like they were a handful. I just don't like the max save with the fuel saving, but I guess they pretty much have to do it. I mean, they don't have to do it, though. They could just race. But yeah, I kind of want to get the opening monologue there, go over the notes here, and then my race rating. I'm actually going to give the race rating now. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now, besides the start of the third stage there with the gridlock for however long it was, I actually enjoyed the multiple strategies. Cars were a handful. Pretty good racing, huge runs, and the finish was damn good. Despite obviously Chase fan hate that he got turned, but hey, I guess I'll take 4th. I wanted to win a crown jewel though, so bad. I just need to fix, though, the fuel saving shit. But it's fine, but I'm glad to get focused on how awesome it is to win the 500 instead of punching a ticket to the playoffs. But kudos to NASCAR for letting the last lap play out. Outstanding finish. I just wish they could have kept it clean. Because the racing, when not saving, looked decently improved over the past years. I just wish they didn't wreck on the last lap. I think it's like, what, 7 straight 500s with last lap wrecks? But you couldn't, man, NASCAR had a 100% chance to guarantee Chase won by throwing the caution, so you can't call it, say, Golden Boy anymore, because they could have threw the caution. But yeah, I would give it like a 8 out of 10 race. I hate seeing so many bad blocks, though. But I'm glad NASCAR actually held the yellow. I didn't think they would actually keep it green. I hate seeing so many wrecked cars, but at least they kept it green. Yeah, let's go over the notes here. Give it an 8 out of 10 race. So, stage 1, BJ McLeod and Moore crashed. Some type of failure in the car, spun out. Some more were involved, but I think BJ McLeod was the only one out. And Zane Smith ended up winning stage 1 with the fuel strategy. Stage 2, there was a Rick, Zillich, Ware, Briscoe, Austin Dillon, and I think there's probably maybe 1 or 2 others. Or there's a few other cars that were involved that I didn't write down, but there were more involved in that one. I'll explain why that happened. And then we had the big one, like I already said how that happened. Allgaier was kind of floating between. Hamlin was there. He raked himself and took about 19 other cars with him. So that was a bad block. And Bubba wins stage 2 under caution. Starts stage 3, which is a bunch of 3x3 gridlock, fuel saving, 4 to 5 seconds off pace. They finally the pit stops, and then Bell and Hamlin crash. Corey just was too off-centered, Heim that is, and they crashed. And then 2 last lap crashes. The first one, Hocevar got a push from Eric Jones, which wasn't good, sent him around. And then the last lap crash, tipped Riley Herbst. Went going to block Brad. That was never going to work. I know he was trying to win, but I don't know, man. He was never going to block that. And then it takes pretty much everybody at the line out. Took out Ricky, Joey, Chase, Brad. I think Zane called Bevitt, Herbst. I think probably like 4 or 5 of the top 10 cars were involved in that wreck at the line. But man, Chase should have won the 500 now. Should have won the Southern 500 and the 600. Should have won all these crown jewels and can't catch a break in any of them. Will he ever get a crown jewel race? In a normal world, he's a 2-time 500 winner. This one it's just circumstances though with no teammate help. I think he maybe got a double block, maybe Reddick, but I don't know, the run was coming too fast. However, there was a second run coming, so I don't know. Hopefully it'll come soon enough. But yeah, Reddick ends up winning the race. Not a great, just the winners this weekend sucked. The truck races was solid. The Xfinity O'Reilly race, not great. Cup race is pretty good. But who would have thought the what race was the cleanest? What was it? Who would have thought I think it was either the O'Reilly race or the truck race. One of those two were probably the cleanest races of the weekend. But Chase still got 4th out of that, so hey, 3rd in points, go to Atlanta, try and win that. But damn, I really wish he won the crown jewel race. And he still has he'll still be around for another 10 years. So hopefully he win the 500 at some point. But let's go over the race results. Reddick wins, 1 lap. Stenhouse 2nd, Logano 3rd, Elliott 4th, Keselowski 5th, Zane 6th, Buescher 7th, Herbst 8th, Perry 9th, Bubba 10th, Noah 11th, Byron 12th, Swears 13th, Ty Dillon 14th, Kyle Busch 15th, Collerson 16th, Cody Ware 17th, Carlos Hocevar 18th, Allmendinger 19th, Chastain 20th, Eric Jones 21st, McDowell 22nd, Gibbs 23rd, Custer 24th, Priest 25th, JHN 26th, Blaney 27th, Heim 28th, Johnson 29th, and SVG around the top 30, Hamlin 31st, Mears 32nd, Zilch 33rd, Cindric 34th, Bell 35th, Briscoe 36th, Dillon 37th, Allgaier 38th, Tully Dillon 39th, Bowman 40th, and BJ McLeod 41st and last. But yeah, pretty good Daytona 500. Much better than years past with a next-gen car. Obviously, Chase just disappointed, got wrecked on the last lap, but at least he had a shot in this, unlike most years. But it is what it is. Gonna be 3rd in points, so whatever. But I think Atlanta's next week, so yeah. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. Peace.